This video is about the 5 greatest misconceptions of Egypt. And I'll be quoting this National Geographic article. It says displayed till 1/3/14, so it's fairly recent. National Geographic magazine article. And we're going to go to page 30, I believe it was. Was it 30? Yes, on page 30 it says the Pyramids of Power. And when they name them, they start at Egypt's Middle Kingdom, which proves my point. Eurocentrics wanting to start where they want to start it instead of starting with Heru and the First Dynasty. And they talk about Egypt unified in armor, Zoser, King, Third Dynasty, buried in Step Pyramid, Saqqara. They go to Khufu, etc., etc. So they touch on the Old Kingdom. But when let me show you what I mean. It says Ancient World. It says Egypt's Middle Kingdom and Egypt's New Kingdom. That's how it's listed in the content. So why did they put Egypt's Old Kingdom? Because they want you to think of it as a white man's world instead of a black man's world, which it really is. Now, if you look at to make a long story short, their explanation of, I can't show you too much because I don't want to give them an excuse to take off this video, but their explanation of why the Hyksos kings enter is because they introduced bronze into Egypt, and that the Egyptians used bronze against them. They basically oversimplified what happened. The Egyptians used Mantu arts, applied it, and used their own weapons against them. Yes, but look at where the Hyksos' capital was. It was in the Nile Delta. And even to put in that way is giving them more credit than they deserve. They barely were in Egypt, and it didn't take them very long to get kicked the hell out, compared to the rest of historical Egypt in thousands of years that it's been there. And if you look at the cataracts, the 3rd, 4th, 5th, and the Nile in general, everything about Egypt, it stretches into Africa, proves my point. It doesn't stretch into the Middle East. It just included Babylon at one point. Now, so the top 5 misconceptions about Egypt. Number 1 is that ancient Egypt was white. That's a great misconception. Ancient Egypt was black. The second is that ancient Egyptians like to brag and put too much on things. And that's not the case. They invented martial arts and Mantu arts. They didn't brag for no reason. They actually invented all the arts and sciences we use today. The third greatest misconception is that the ancient Egyptians either lost or had a draw in the Battle of Kadesh when they actually won the battle. They decided to stop the battle because Mantu arts was slaughtering the Asiatic peoples. The 4th greatest misconception of ancient Egypt is that women ruled Egypt. 1 or 2 pharaohs were women. For example, Cleopatra and Hatshepsut, whatever the hell their name is. People like me who are real Egypt enthusiasts, we don't care about 1 or 2 pharaohs. We're not able to pronounce all the pharaohs' names. No one is. And the 1 or 2 that we get wrong is because, they don't matter. They don't matter. And that's all there is to it. Now, so by the time you get to the other misconceptions about Egypt, they have to do with history and war, and the last greatest misconception. If I was to chop them both up and put it one, I'd say that the knowledge of Egypt came from somewhere else. It came from Africa. To really encompass all the 5 greatest misconceptions. Thank you.